Islamic conference. They'll be here. There are not very many. So I thought I should let you know that from the 1st to the 3rd, we shall have our other brothers here for a meeting. When they come, please have time to meet with them. Now, honour members, the third one is that I've just been having a meeting with a mother of a young girl who disappeared in Machon Falls in October 2015. She was called Sophia Kotsia. She was an intern at Rubaga Hospital, but she had gone to the national park for a weekend and then disappeared. The mother has traveled here 11 times, and she says she's frustrated that there appears to be no progress in the investigations. So I want to call upon the Minister of Internal Affairs to take an interest in this matter and probably update us, because she says she's going to start writing to me to see whether anything is happening. She's just gone away really crying. So I'm appealing to you, Honourable Minister, to follow up this matter, and let's see that some justice is done in the situation. Either the body should be found or the girl should be found. Okay, after that, members, there are just a few matters of national interest. Honourable Savagara, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, a few days ago, we witnessed a very ugly scenario at the court when 4 of the late Kawesa murder suspects were granted bail as per Constitution. Madam Speaker, what happened at the court is to everybody's knowledge. And Madam Speaker, the reason as to why I'm raising this matter, I've been approached by families of the 4 suspects who were brutally arrested after the court giving them the bail. Their whereabouts are not known. They have gone to various stations, they are not there. Madam Speaker, the Deputy Chief Justice condemned the act, Uganda Law Society, and even Muslim Lawyers Association. Madam Speaker, we are seeing situations that are really not in conformity with our Constitution, because granting bail is the mandate of our courts of law. And if there was any other charge or case, there is a civilized way of how these people would have been rearrested and taken to courts. Madam Speaker, I would like to know from the ministers who are here, Internal Affairs and Security, where the 4 suspects are being kept, and when are they going to be aligned before courts of law. Madam Speaker, the families are really in tears, not knowing where their people are, and want to find out whether there's any case to answer so that they can be brought to courts of law. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
But one member, you have not given us the names. I don't know. You are saying the minister on the wild goose chase. Who are the people involved?
Madam Speaker, I don't have the names right here, but the four people I'm talking about, the ministers of security and internal affairs, are well aware that those 4 people were given bail, and then they were brutally arrested at the court, and they are aware.
I don't know where the Minister of Internal Affairs has anything to say about this issue.
Right Honourable Speaker, I'll get the details of the names of the honourable member and follow up on the matter. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, the Minister of Internal Affairs and the Minister of Security are in the know about the people who were rearrested brutally. Madam Speaker, the Minister is trying to hide. They know where these people are and how they were arrested.
Information.
It is public knowledge.
Information.
Okay.
Thank you for your information. Minister, the names are Yusuf Nyanzi, Jibril Kalyango, Joshua Chambade, and Yusuf Mugerwa. Those were picked from court dramatically by officials who had guns, and we all know that it is the security which is responsible for guns, so it is government that took them to where they are. So that is the information I was giving.
No.
Right, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable members,
Right, Honourable Speaker.
I don't think this is a debate.
No.
We have
Just
separated the
information.
names of the minister. We now require him to come and explain to us.
But, Madam
Yes.
Speaker, Madam Speaker, this is something very useful.
No.
Right, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Samakula, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I raised on the matter of national importance regarding to total electricity blackout in Nakaseke Referral Hospital. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable members, Nakaseke Referral Hospital serves 8 districts, and a lot of activities have been affected as a result of scarcity of electricity, Right Honourable Speaker. So I'm calling upon the intervention of government such that we can save the lives of people, especially people who are undergoing operation. And lastly, Right Honourable Speaker, there is also scarcity of medicines in Nakaseke Main Hospital. Every time patients go there, they are usually referred to private wing where all medicines are just bought. So my prayer is that the minister in charge of health should come out urgently and help the lives of Nakaseke people which are being lost per now. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Minister of Health is required to examine the situation of electricity at Nakaseke Hospital for the last 2 weeks and report to this House. Also, it's interesting that some time back it was water at this hospital which was not there, the same hospital. So the Minister of Health should come back to us next week on Tuesday and give us an explanation. Honourable Sawanyana, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in March this year, Parliament was informed with an assurance from the Minister of Health that a sewage line was to be constructed at Kiruddu Hospital in Machindye, which is now a National Referral Hospital, before the end of this year. Madam Speaker, it is now September 2019, just months to the end of the year, but there is no progress, as to my information, of the construction of this sewage line. The problem of pollution of the environment is still there and escalating more, and the residents there do not have any information about the progress of the construction of this sewage line. We have been informed by the Minister that before the end of this year, the construction will be done, but it is now just 3 or 4 months to the end of the year. So, Madam Speaker, I would like to get more information about the progress of the construction of this sewage line. Information granted.
Honourable members, this matter came up in this House earlier in the session. I want to remind the Minister of Health to come and explain how far they have gone with the handling the issue of sewage in Kiruddu. It was a matter of public concern. It was even in the media. So, Minister, give us an answer next week on Tuesday. Honourable Mujuke.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I stand on a matter of national importance. We have seen in the media reports of sanctions to the former IGP, General Kayihura. General Kayihura, I want to believe, worked under some command. He never worked alone. He served for a long time as IGP. He did his best to maintain the government in power. He was appraised and appreciated by the president and government as one of the government's best cadre. This good cadre has now been sanctioned by the American government in respect to abuse of human rights and torturing Ugandans. My concern, Right Honourable Speaker, is that government is quiet about this good cadre. Now that government is quiet in respect to these sanctions, one, is this an indictment to government? What about the image of the country and our human rights record? I would want the ministries concerned to tell us what the government view is and response on this good cadre of government. I want to thank you.
I think that's a matter that requires the Prime Minister to come and address the country. Yes, Minister of Finance wants to say something?
Yeah, Madam Speaker,
Order.
as you have said, it's true we have received that information and we are studying it. The Prime Minister will come and address the House on this issue. At the next sitting.
Okay, thank you. Honour members, join me in welcoming a number of guests. We have youth leaders from Dokoro district. I don't know which side they are seated. Dokoro, where are you? Dokoro? They're here? Oh, there are so many. Wow, 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 wow. No, I think they are more than the youth. They're led by Mr. Boni Daniel Anyal. I don't know where he is. The leader, that's the leader of the delegation. The MPs are Honorable Amoru and Honorable Silio Gwal. You're welcome. You're welcome. We also have another delegation from Kalongo Primary School in Agago district. There they are. The people are there. Welcome. They are very smart. Represented by Honorable Otto Edward McMott, Honorable Ogenga Latigo, and Honorable Akelo Judith Franca. You're welcome. Very smart indeed. Gonzaga, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Madam Speaker, last week I raised the matter of national importance, and I'm raising it again, about the Higher Loan Scheme Board, where children applied, 7,000 of them. And Madam Speaker, the rule is, before you are given a loan scheme, you have to first get admission. Now, these children were admitted, they got to university, they were admitted to university on science courses, but the board took only 1,800 children out of 7,000 children. And by last week, still, these students had petitioned the board in over 4,000 students, asking why they were not taken. And the Honourable Minister is sitting in front of us, assured this House that we'll come back to so we can sort out the problem of these students because they have nowhere to go. And as we talk now, Madam Speaker, I've been there. Students are flocking the board, parents are crying because these students were admitted in universities, but they have no other remedy other than getting money from the loan board. And Madam Speaker, this money is not taken free of charge. It is a loan. After qualifying, they will repay back. So how can the government fail to give people who want to borrow under an act? Honourable members, let me first drive this matter properly. So I'm going to take that information. How can the government fail to raise money for students who are going to study science, moreover, because all other courses were left out? And you say someone is going to take it on a loan, start after 4 years, he's going to work for government and pay back, and then you're not giving them money. So let me take the information, Madam Speaker.
Can I ask the Minister for Education when he's answering this question?
Thanks very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker,
Order.
the students' loan scheme has got procedures. And the issue my colleague has raised, I think we need to come back in a written statement to explain the procedures and how much is allocated per particular year. It's not something that I can simply answer why 1,000 were admitted and others left out.
Clarification, Minister.
So when are you coming, Minister? When is your minister coming? Because this was last week. And the students are going this month, this September?
Right Honourable Speaker, by Tuesday next week.
Okay. We get an answer from the ministry next week. Item 3.
Item 3, statement by the chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture, Industry and Fisheries.
Honorable Chair, Agriculture.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and members of the August House, I beg to submit a request to this House under Rule 140 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament to seek extra time for the consideration of the National Coffee Bill 2018. Right Honourable Speaker, the Committee of Agriculture is currently considering the bill entitled the National Coffee Bill 2018, which was referred to it on the 30th April 2019. Rule 128 of our Rules of Procedure requires that the committee examines the bill in detail and make all such inquiries in relation to it as the committee considers expedient or necessary, and report to the House within 45 days from the date the bill is referred to the committee. Right Honourable Speaker, I stand here to inform this Honourable House that the committee started consideration of the bill at the beginning of July 2019, and now the 45 days have elapsed, and yet consideration of the bill is still underway. Because of the controversial nature of the bill, Right Honourable Speaker, the committee had resolved to visit 3 regions: Central, Western, Eastern, and those are 4, yes, and West Nile for proper representation. The committee has so far only carried out consultations in the districts of Kalungu, Bushenyi, and Kasese. The next leg of our consultation was to be in eastern Uganda, in the districts of Kamuli, Sironko, Bududa, and central region in the districts of Kayunga, Mukono, Mubende, followed by the district of Zombo in West Nile. Right Honourable Speaker, the committee will resume the consultation process in October 2019 to carry on with the remaining field consultations. Right Honourable Speaker, in line with Rule 140 of our Rules of Procedure, I would like to inform this August House that the committee has been unable to complete consideration of the bill within the required 45 days. I therefore seek permission from the House that the committee be granted an extra period of about 45 days to allow it carry out adequate consultations on the bill. I beg to move.
Honourable members, does anyone really have objection to the 45 days? Honourable members, the coffee bill is an important bill, and it's necessary that consultations are adequately carried out. So this House will grant the 45 days. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Item 4, laying of papers, agreements of the third session of the Joint Ministerial Commission between the Republic of Uganda and the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia.
There's something, just 1 minute, Honorable Kaberuka. And then
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the procedure I'm raising is on the matter that has not been concluded about loan scheme. And Madam Speaker, in the sitting where you are chairing this sitting, I raised the same matter, and you ruled on the Hansard it is there that the Minister of Finance and Minister of Education, they should table a supplementary request to this House to accommodate those people who were being denied access to education. And Madam Speaker, it was extensively debated on this August House. By the procedure I'm raising, Madam Speaker, wouldn't it be procedural right for the Minister of Finance, who is here, to update us how far they have gone with the supplementary request to this House?
Members, I think I recall that there was an undertaking. I had not checked whether the Minister fulfilled that undertaking. Can you update us where you are in the supplementary?
Madam Speaker, in that sitting, we promised that we are going to have a meeting between Minister of Education and Minister of Finance to look at the gravity of the matter, because as you recall, Madam Speaker, we approved a certain amount of money for the loan scheme. And I want to inform the House that that joint meeting has not taken place, but we are having it this week. And then next week we shall conclude and see whether it is possible to fund the people, the number of students who are stranded. Yeah, but we haven't had that meeting, a joint meeting. We are having it this week, Madam Speaker.
But of course you are aware that the universities have commenced and there are people floating. I think it's important that you put a closure to it as quickly as possible. Yes, Honourable Carter.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, on Saturday last week, the 14th, I don't know whether they should be called potential recruits of the police, those who are joining police, reported to Masindi Police Training School. Despite the fact that even here we are saying, no, we need to rectify the process of recruitment. Now, to add more salt to the healing wound, Right Honourable Speaker, all the recruits, I'm speaking for Nebi, from Nebi, have been turned back from Masindi on one reason, that they should have presented their admission letter at the time they were joining the school where they claim they have completed from. Now, when you admitted in Senior 1, present the admission at that time. And yet when they are recruiting in Nebi, that was not a condition. Now, Right Honourable Speaker, would it not be procedure right that you invoke your powers to actually make the Minister for Internal Affairs to respond, to tell us why are those young men being sent away based on admission letter of Senior 1, and yet they passed the process of the interviews back in Nebi? And that is for all Ugandans, by the way.
Honourable members, yesterday the Minister said he was working on a comprehensive response, including the names of all the children from all the districts, and we allowed him to come back tomorrow, I think. He's coming tomorrow. So tomorrow, you can raise that question tomorrow. Today is premature. Thank you, Honorable Minister of Trade.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I beg to lay the agreed minutes of the third session of the Joint Ministerial Commission between the Republic of Uganda and the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. I beg to lay.
Okay, honorable members, the Joint Ministerial Commission meeting document is available for your perusal. But may I appeal to the government? There are so many state visits that we have. For instance, the Turkish president came here. We don't yet have a JMC up to today. He was here almost 3 years ago. We don't have a JMC. So maybe also the Prime Minister. We don't follow. For instance, look at the issue of the Prime Minister Modi. No, I think we need some more to pull our socks together. Thank you. Item 4. Item 5 rather.
Redesignation of members to sectoral committees in accordance with Rule 184, the rules of procedure.
Honorable Yanga is not here. I saw him in the morning. I think clerk should look for Honorable Yanga to come and carry out this activity because some members are not yet fixed. Let's defer to later in the day. Item 6.
Item 6.
Oh.
Motion for resolution of Parliament to galvanize the participation of members for the success of the 64th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference slated for 22nd to 29th September 2019.
Honorable Amoru. Honorable members, I understand that Honorable Yanga is at Munyonyo for a joint review meeting with the Ministry of Energy and the Committee of Natural Resources, but I think should still delegate. If he's still busy with the ministry, should delegate. Yes, Honorable Amoru.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. Honorable Speaker, I'm here to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to galvanize the participation of members for the success of the 64th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference slated for 22nd to 29th September 2019 at the Munyonyo Commonwealth Resort, Kampala, Uganda. Madam Speaker, this motion is moved under Rules 55 of the Rules of Procedure of the Parliament of Uganda. Madam Speaker, whereas the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association was established in 1911 as an association of Commonwealth parliamentarians united in pursuit of the common ideals for the rule of law, respect for individual rights and freedoms, and parliamentary democracy, irrespective of the diversities of nationality, creed, gender, race, religion, or culture. And whereas Uganda is an active member of the Commonwealth, including its organs, as demonstrated by hosting the 13th CPA conference in 1967, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, CHOGM, in 2007, and is slated to host the 64th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference on 22nd to 29th, 2019. Noting that the 64th CPC will be held under the theme, Adoption, Engagement, and Evolution of Parliaments in a rapidly changing Commonwealth, and will tackle intricate thematic areas such as climate change, youth and unemployment, the plight of persons with disability, urbanization, transparency and accountability, and various other aspects of governance. And noting that the 64th CPC as a CPA flagship event will bring together over 500 parliamentarians, parliamentary staff, and decision makers across the Commonwealth and provide a unique networking opportunity for the CPA's global membership of parliamentarians, parliamentary staff to address the critical issues facing parliaments today. Recognizing that hosting the 64th CPC will not only accrue immense dividends to Uganda as a country in critical areas such as tourism, hospitality, and foreign exchange, but also positively cascade the image of Uganda in the international community of nations. And further recognizing that the hosting of the 64th CPC, like other Commonwealth gatherings, is a necessity for the continuity of the Commonwealth and building consensus and commitment among member states in pursuit of an inclusive, fairer, more secure, and more prosperous and sustainable future. Aware that at the 64th CPC, the Right Honourable Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga, will assume the presidency of the CPA and during a year in which the Commonwealth celebrates 70 years of the London Declaration of 1949. And further aware of the immense effort and diligence of the honourable members of the 10th Parliament, staff of Parliament, and the people of Uganda in ensuring the success of the 64th CPC. Now, therefore, be it resolved by this august House that, 1, members and staff of Parliament unreservedly dedicate their utmost effort and commitment to ensuring the success of the 64th CPC. 2, the government and the people of Uganda successfully play host to the 64th CPC. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Members, is it seconded? Seconded by several members from both sides of the House. Justify. Okay.
Madam Speaker, thank you. And the Right Honourable Speaker, these are the justifications. The Commonwealth, Madam Speaker, the Commonwealth is one of the oldest political associations of states. It is a voluntary community of former colonies of the British Empire. The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, as an association of the Commonwealth parliamentarians, was established in 1911 in pursuit of the common ideals of the rule of law, respect for individual rights and freedoms, and parliamentary democracy, irrespective of the diversities of nationality, creed, gender, race, religion, or culture. Madam Speaker, it is noteworthy that as a necessity for the continuity of the Commonwealth, regular gatherings are convened at various levels. At the level of governments, the Commonwealth Heads of Governments meeting, as CHOGAM, is usually held annually, just as the level of parliamentarians. The CPC is a flagship annual gathering. Such gatherings enable the building of consensus and commitment among Commonwealth member states in pursuit of an inclusive, fairer, more secure, more prosperous, and sustainable future. This year, 2019, Madam Speaker, as the Commonwealth celebrates 70 years of the London Declaration of 1949, Uganda will be hosting the 64th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference on 22nd to 29th September 2019 under the theme Adoption, Engagement, and evolution of parliaments in a rapidly changing Commonwealth. This will be the second CPC that Uganda hosts, having hosted the 13th CPC conference in 1967. Madam Speaker, the 64th CPC will tackle various thematic areas, namely people participation, rights of persons with disability, technological changes, youth unemployment, sustainable urbanization, fostering of culture of respect, fairness and dignity, transparency and accountability in governance, and post-legislative scrutiny, among others. Madam Speaker, the 64th CPC will bring together over 500 parliamentarians, parliamentary staff, and decision makers from across the Commonwealth, and provide a unique networking opportunity for CPA's global membership of parliamentarians and parliamentary staff to address the critical issues facing today's parliaments. The 64th CPC, besides generating far-reaching resolutions of the thematic areas that the discussions will tackle, will also have a significant multiplier effect on the tourism and hospitality sector, as well as boosting the stature of Uganda among the international community of nations. The hundreds of delegates will also inject a considerable amount of foreign exchange in the local economy as they partake of Ugandan goods and services, including Rolex. They are looking forward to having that, Madam Speaker. In preparation for this conference, Madam Speaker, various members of Parliament and staff of Parliament, officials of other ministries, departments, and agencies, and various other non-state actors have been involved at different levels and in varying capacities. They have played a commendable role in ensuring the attainment of the requisite levels of readiness. Madam Speaker, the conference is barely a week, actually it's a matter of days away. This is a clarion call on all members and staff of Parliament and all the relevant stakeholders to align their effort and commitment towards the success of the 64th CPC. As a nation, immense benefits will accrue to the 64th CPC. Madam Speaker, these are some of the justifications I have, and also would want to particularly thank you most sincerely for your international leadership and the stature that you enjoy. That has made it possible for Uganda at this particular time to gain the confidence of members of the Commonwealth community and accept to visit visitors and be part of this historic event. So I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Amoru. As I invite Honorable Komakech, join me in welcoming the public gallery. Up there, the leaders of the Pakistan Society of Uganda. They're here to observe proceedings of the House. And of course, there is a delegation coming in from Pakistan to attend this meeting. Now, Komakech.
Madam Speaker, honorable members, I wish to support the motion moved by Honorable Amoru Paul, especially as regards the 64th CPA conference that will take place in this country between 22nd of this month to 29th. Madam Speaker, it will be 70 years, and it will also be 52 years when Uganda hosted. It is a very important 1 week of serious engagement for members that come from the tradition of the Commonwealth practice. Much as it started as an empire association, it has evolved and it has created a lot of other positive attributes in development of parliamentary democracy. And Uganda has been one of those countries that have benefited and yet to benefit more from this. This conference is important in the sense of looking at where we are at this present. I witnessed when I participated as an observer in Zanzibar when the Africa region had a meeting. That is when I could see the seriousness that they attach to this country called Uganda. Members, this country is very important. We should ensure that we create all mechanisms, constitutionally and otherwise, to ensure that Uganda remain peaceful for the present and for the future. It is very important, very, very important. We have come a long way from situations of conflict for a very long time. From '64, that was when the first shot was made against a few Ugandans. To date, I come from an area where I was in conflict for over 20 years. And when we look at today the benefits that peace can create in this country, I think we need to put the Commonwealth at the center of selling this country in terms of tourism. And I hope the entire team from the ministry are here. Tourism, I mean. When you look at how Zanzibar in 1 week sold the country, I was just a witness. 1 week, Zanzibar sold that country to Africa alone. But this time, we are going to be exposing Uganda to the entire globe. And it needs a lot of concentration in terms of we as members of parliament, together with all agencies of government and citizens of this country. I witnessed in Zanzibar where the transport sector was put in serious business for 1 week. And in Uganda, I think we are at that situation. And Madam Speaker, I must thank your leadership for creating committees that are dealing specifically with various target areas that needs to be achieved to make the conference a success. From the chair as yourself to the entire other committees, I've seen, right now as we speak, there's a joint dry run of organizing to welcome visitors from Entebbe. They have all gone there to plan how to welcome visitors. I'm a chair of the vice chair of protocol. I've been told yesterday that members of parliament these days smile very lightly or not smile at all. And that is what I was told. And Madam Chair, smiling is a very important investment in happiness. For our colleagues who are here, if you have never smiled in your life, for this 1 week that is coming, pretend to have a happy face. It is very clear that in Russia, when Russia was bidding for the World Cup, for the World Cup, Madam Chair, Russia almost lost the bid because by culture they said the Russians never smile, even if they're happy. But I think for Ugandans, we are always joyous. And I hope this time, Madam Chair, as part of the protocol team, we urge all members, regardless of domestic issues, regardless of other issues, please let us for the 1 week be showing joy, happiness to the visitors that will be participating in the conference. Madam Chair, I was also amazed when I was in Zanzibar. The level at which you are accorded importance and respect. When we were there as part of your team, we could see the seriousness that is attributed to your chair. And I think this is when I urge all members that for anything we do in life, we should always be careful. For anything we say and act in life, we should always be guarded, because the whole world will always be watching on you. When the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda arrived in Zanzibar, that is when you know that she's a very important person. In Acholi, there's a word they say, DMM. DMM means Dano Madit Mada. Indeed, Madam Speaker is a DMM in terms of our protocol as Acholi. So I believe on that day, as he ascends to that presidency, Uganda will be having a global attraction on what this country is. And this is the opportunity for the Minister of Tourism to critically be well positioned to sell Uganda beyond the Commonwealth. And I think we still have a few challenges, but I urge through your chair, Madam, to ensure that the Ministry of Tourism and Uganda Tourism Board abandon all other things and concentrate on selling Uganda. There are traditional foods that are already being asked by the delegates. What are we going to eat when we come to Kampala? They are asking. We hear that Uganda has the best fish, that is internal, Angara, and all this. We need to provide all this to these places. And we are happy that in terms of culture, the whole team is well organized. So, members, I know many have been assigned various committees, but I think all in all, let us for the first time, regardless of our internal challenges, I know we disagree, but I think this time, as Parliament of Uganda and as people of Uganda, let us stand together and host the Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference, so that the benefits and the outcomes will all radiate to all. And as the chair that time, you will be the one in charge of the whole thing. You will be our only spokesperson to ensure that Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, continues to sign among other states of the world. I beg to move, Madam Chair, of information.
From the Government Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. When my colleague was calling upon us to work together, he repeated the word, although we disagree, but let us work together. And I wanted to inform him that our disagreement here was agreed upon. We agreed to disagree when we decided to shift from the movement system to the multi-party political dispensation. So this disagreement should not even be talked about. This is a normal political system. So we are moving together because we agreed that you sit there, we sit this side, and we are happy. So in this case, talking about, although we disagree, does not, it doesn't really make any value addition. I wanted to put the record clear. We disagreed to disagree. Yeah.
Please conclude.
Madam Speaker, you know, I was being, I'm being cautioned that I should also be smiling. I'm just happy. Madam Chair, I agree, Madam Speaker, I agree with Honorable Chief Whip that disagreement in a democracy that is mature is very fine. We're in that transition. I agree with her. What we say here is that certain disagreements should not compel us into other things. We should not fight like sometime we did. We should demonstrate that we are evolving democracy for the future of this country. That's all. So any disagreement should be taken in good faith. We should not take any disagreement in bad faith. And we should not turn any disagreement into enmity. I think that would be very, very bad for this country. That was That in the spirit in which I was speaking. Okay.
But honourable members, this was a motion. The one is seconding.
Okay. Madam Speaker, I beg to stop here, but I would like to say one thing.
No, honourable members, let's have the other seconder, please.
Yeah.
We have a procedure.
Madam Speaker, I would like to conclude supporting this motion by saying that day you will be leading a delegation from Uganda and observers. And this is also yet another opportunity, Madam Speaker, as the president of CPA, that you radiate your leadership to the rest of the world. This is a stage that is so strategic that will help us to galvanize and see how we improve on our parliamentary democracy. It is also that opportunity that we should show that history should judge us as the 10th Parliament of Uganda that stood together to welcome guests from across the nation. Even those who are not part of Commonwealth have demonstrated requests to attend as observers. Madam Speaker, thank you, and we are all ready to participate in this conference. I beg to move.
Thank you very much. Honourable Chomuhendo. Chomuhendo. She's not here. I think this other seconder is not there. Let us just... maybe you just make your contributions briefly. I think the seconding has been completed now by one seconder and the rest of the House. Let's, okay, 2 minutes, Honorable Ogwal, Wamai. Okay, 2 minutes. But I'm sure nobody objects.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to start from where I should have given information to Honorable Komakech that when high-profile visitors like the Commonwealth parliamentarians being in Uganda, it is like in the African family setting. Even if you disagree with your wife, you don't beat your wife when visitors are around. That's very important. Or pretend to behave funny to your husband when visitors are around. And therefore, when we hear that some people are being arrested in Hoima, when some of our visitors are arriving, this is a message which must be given to those in charge of security. It paints a wrong image. Right, Honorable Speaker, I can only say that Uganda will reap highly in this conference. Why? Because even when we were infants in 1967, Uganda was still an infant country, having just achieved independence. Uganda was able to hold a very successful Commonwealth conference. So now Uganda is 50 years older from 1967. Definitely we are going to do excellently well. And I want to really congratulate God and thank God that we are Ugandans. And because we are Ugandans, we are the ones who will benefit. Right, Honorable Speaker, allow me to say that the prayer that we held this morning was really most appropriate because it's God's given chance. If all these things had not happened, it would have been difficult for us. But we thank God that has restored you to health. We thank God you are going to be the chair of the CPA. And we thank God for really marketing Uganda at a very high level, globally, and consistently. And I'm calling upon Ugandans, really, if we have a Ugandan of this quality, let's also be proud of her. Right Honorable Kadaga is respected globally more than we do in Uganda. I know even the Bible says a prophet is not honored in his or her own country. But Rebecca Kadaga addressed Pan-African Parliament when I was there. And she was going to stand for the chairmanship of the gender slot in the in the CPA. And the intervention she made all the Commonwealth members in Pan-African Parliament all resolved that none of us would contest against Kadaga. The profile, her method of presentation really makes Uganda proud. So I'm appealing to Ugandans, if you have any other contrary view about Kadaga, as a person, leave it outside. But take it up at a very high profile when it comes to the governance of this country, when it comes to the leadership of this country. We must all be proud of her. I know I'm a member of the opposition, and I'm not standing on her side because of anything. But I believe where there is quality, we must all be united. And for her, she has shown that she is a leader of quality, and she is a uniting factor, not only in this parliament, but even in the country. She has been able to portray that spirit of motherhood to each and every one of us, and that is something we need to be proud of. And definitely when visitors come, we want to show them that Ugandans can be good wives, good mothers, good friends, and will smile. I'm one of those who will smile. Everywhere I am, I will smile. May God bless you so much.
Honor Samuju, Wamai, then I come here.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. This particular conference is taking place when globalization is under immense pressure. The British are walking away from the European Union, and the only reason they are doing so, they are tired of people who go to their country to work and settle there. For that reason, Madam Speaker, reluctantly going to oppose this motion. First, I think if the British, the foundation of the Commonwealth, want to disassociate with the world, want to walk away from other countries, the world needs to stand against them and also walk away from them. That's point number one. Point number two, Madam Speaker, this particular association is made up of, if you look at the definition of Commonwealth, countries that were once part of the British Empire, colonies. Our leaders, including His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, have spoken very negatively about colonialism and blamed all the traditional chiefs for not having fought colonialists. I want someone to convince me, why should we continue associating with colonialism by being members of associations of former British colonies? Someone should be able to make me understand that. I spent the whole of my secondary school life studying history, and all my teachers, all of them Africans, taught me.
Point of order.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I have been attentively listening to my brother Semojo, who is attempting to lay across points. However, actually they are emotional points. However, Madam Speaker, when we are here and emotion so sensitive and important has been laid on this floor, and we have seen the importance, and we have seen what is going to come as benefits to this country, and a member rises up to wash it down and say we are still in, is it what? Colonialism. In this age and era, really is Honorable Semuji in order to try to wash down such an important motion by relating it to us still being tied to colonialism when we have moved on 1,000 years ago. Is in order, Madam Speaker?
Honour members, I think the motion is really intended to create an environment where we are all engaged, appreciate, participate. So, on negative sentiments, Honorable Semuju, you're not in order. You're not in order.
Madam Speaker, I understand the sentiments and the impatience some of my colleagues. Maybe we will need to change even the syllabus in secondary schools. For me, the history I was taught is a history that prepares me to hate colonialists. If there are others who are taught to love them, I am not one of them, and I don't pretend. But we must also face the world as it is. See what is happening in America. See what is happening in South Africa. British is walking away from European Union. I don't want to be part of people who, I remember when President Trump described Africa as a shithole. The president here said maybe he's right, we need to think about ourselves. And I am not saying people shouldn't prepare to go and attend. I am only telling you at a personal level, and I'm not saying this as a chief whip, that I still, because of what I was taught, still don't want to associate with colonialism. Two, that at the time British is walking away from the rest of the world, I don't want to be walking towards British. Finally, Madam Speaker,
Honor, another? Point of what? Okay. Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, I was raising an order. And Right Honorable Speaker, as it's very important that we are hosting visitors from the most parts of the world, and outside Uganda, people treat Uganda as a very hospitable country, a country which is very attractive to, especially, we've been voted as the second best hospitable country in the whole world. And at this very moment when we are going to host visitors, not only parliamentarians, but visitors from different countries. And aware that, Madam Speaker, you ruled when a member, Honorable Nyakecho, raised an order when Honorable, my friend, Honorable Semuju was articulating here. And I would have loved to learn from Honorable Semuju that he took that seriously because you ruled, Right Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, the Honorable members continued a language which is not very good for, especially even some of the visitors who have started arriving in the country. And this is a member of this parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, is the Honorable Semuju Nganda, the opposition whip, is in order to continue downwashing the achievements that you have made, you as a speaker for this country, but also hosting this Commonwealth Parliamentary Association here in Uganda. Is the Honorable Semuju Nganda in order? Right Honorable Speaker.
Honourable members, the sentiments of Honorable Semuju are appreciated, but they are not appropriate at this time. Thank you. They are not appropriate.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. I don't want to defy you, and I'll stop my submission there.
Honorable Mai.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to support the motion.
You just get two more people.
And tell members that Uganda is a very important country in the Commonwealth. You have been told that after we received our independence, just 5 years later, we hosted the CPA.
conference in Uganda. And before an international conference comes to a country, they look at a country and they look at the members who are participating in that conference. So I want to congratulate the members of the CPA, Madam Speaker, the ones you lead, that they considered Uganda to host this great conference that is coming in next week. They looked at the performance of the members of Uganda at the conference, at the CPA, and saw that Uganda would manage to host such a very important conference. Honorable members, when you bring in such a very important conference, you bring in a lot of benefits for the country. You are marketing your country. You are making the country to be known by many people who have never been here. And some of us who have sat at international conferences, many of those people have wanted to come to Uganda. And they ask for coming to Uganda to have a meeting in Uganda because they want to see Ugandans who are known to be very hospitable people. And Uganda gains a lot. When people come in, when visitors come in, they bring in a lot of money. They pay the hotels, and Uganda benefits. Madam Speaker, international conferences are very important. So what I want to do is to appeal to the Minister of Internal Affairs that during this conference, let's hope nothing happens. And I've always talked that we are members of the international community. We are members of the global village. And anything that happens damages the image of the country. So whatever has been going on, Minister of International Affairs, make sure nothing happens when our visitors are in this country. Madam Speaker, I've looked at the list of members who have been appointed to work, who are going to receive our visitors. I'm going to train people who are going to work with the visitors on Friday. Those who have not attended some of my lessons should come, Madam Speaker, I heard you talking, so that we don't get embarrassment when visitors are here. I would have loved that Ambassador James Barber should have been on the list. Should have been on the list as international person. He has been an ambassador, he worked in foreign affairs. So this one should have been the first on the list to make sure we train our colleagues that when the visitors are here, we are not embarrassed. It's not an easy thing, my dear colleagues, how to receive international visitors, how to move to receive an international visitor. You have to learn. So this is quite important. Now, as a student of international relations, I would like to disagree with some of the members of my colleague, because we're members of the UN, we're members of the Commonwealth, we're members of the European ACP, EU, we're members of the African Union, and we subscribe to international organizations. We cannot live alone. We're members of the international community, so we must live with others. And even here, we're members of the East African community. And therefore, when we get such an important conference, it's very, very important and pride for the country. I want to thank and congratulate Madam Speaker for the role you have played in all these international conferences. If you hadn't been a very good leader, these conferences wouldn't be coming here. Now, when you go on Google and put in the name Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga, you'll see what it means. A very international person, known, and all these conferences come here because of her. And therefore, we congratulate you when you assume the presidency of the CPS. When you assume the presidency, we are proud of you, and we are proud of you as our speaker, and as the third most important person in this country. You have marketed Uganda. Uganda is known all over. We thank you for that, and we are looking forward to work with you to make Uganda known all over the whole world. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Now, honour members, you know, this is a very happy motion. I don't know whether we really need to, I don't know whether we really have objections. Huh? Eh? Eh? Pardon? Ona Semuli? Semuli. Semuli the Mutonyi? Then go here.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable members, before I proceed, I'd like to thank the Right Honorable Speaker. About 2 weeks back, when she was in Zanzibar, I was watching her live on one of the television in Zanzibar, that is ZBC. I think that is Zanzibar Broadcasting Company. I'd like to thank you, Madam Speaker, the way you marketed Uganda to the effect this conference was really being appreciated before it's even here. I'd like to join my honorable colleague, Komakech. Actually, what he was saying was right, because the integrity Madam Speaker exhibited in Zanzibar, the magnitude was so enormous. I'd like to support this motion. Honorable members, this is a very important conference for this nation. Some of us who've been able to live abroad for so many years, Uganda has been known, when you go back to 30, 40 years, for negative history. Now it is time for Uganda to be seen as a positive nation. Madam Speaker and members, I believe this conference is going to promote rule of law. It's going to promote democracy and its principles, issues of human rights, considering the issues which are going to be debated. And it's going to put even the country on test, because this conference is going to bring so many avenues whereby this country is going to promote issues of separation of powers. And it's good, Madam Speaker, that is one of the issues on the bill which was tabled before Parliament. What do I urge the government to do? Madam Speaker, the issue of security is paramount if we want to promote this nation. Secondly, Madam Speaker, however much elections are ongoing, but as a reality, if arrests are being executed, it doesn't promote a good image, whereas we are waiting for this conference to take effect. And lastly, Madam Speaker, I urge my honorable colleagues, this is high time to come together as a nation. However much we are into this multi-party dispensation, but as a nation, there are values which have got to bring us together as a nation. I beg to rest my case. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Now, Mutonyi Vyarugaba, Kaweruka, and the border.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Oh, Minister, yes, we shall allow the Minister to speak.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and the House. I would like to congratulate you, Madam Speaker.
A small caucus.
I have the floor. Madam Speaker, I would like to congratulate you heartily for the lobbying skills that you have, for the mobilization that you have exhibited. These conferences don't just come. Somebody must exhibit those skills. And I'm sure before they decided to come to Uganda, they looked at you, and especially as a woman. I think as women, we should applaud our speaker. Madam Speaker, if we oppose this motion, it is like we don't even want you to be the president. And yet we have a privilege. I mean, this is a very great privilege for Uganda to shine. Like Honorable Anthony has said, We were known, even in America, they still think Amin is still around. So if our speaker is going to become the president, isn't that lighting the candle of Uganda? So let's work together. Madam Speaker, the only thing that I'm not happy about is that we have not publicized this conference. Even among MPs here, we're saying it's good that we have had this motion today, but it should have come yesterday so that everybody knows what is going on. I remember when Chogam was coming in, there was so much publicity. We even talked about it. Everywhere in the taxi, wherever we were moving, even on the streets, people were talking Chogam, the language of Chogam. The Queen is coming. Now, something is lacking, Madam Speaker. Can we, in this week, before the conference starts, we make Uganda know? A few days, but we can do much, so that Ugandans know what is happening. Madam Speaker, I'm not even mistaken. In fact, she's Madam Uganda from now. So, Madam Speaker, when I always quote Egypt, that is tourism. When you reach Cairo, you step on the soil of Cairo, everywhere on the lips of the Egyptians, they will ask you. Once they know you are not an Egyptian, they will ask you, have you visited the pyramids? Have you seen the hanging church? Have you seen? We want this to be on the lips of Ugandans so that they can talk about the Nile, they can talk about the tombs, they can talk about the mountains, and we shall, those who don't see the benefits, at least we are seeing. And Honorable Madam Speaker, Honorable Semuju, I feel that you shouldn't have brought up that because you are even speaking English. Well, how would you avoid English with the Commonwealth? How do you avoid the Commonwealth suit? So you are going to leave alone. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yarugaba?
Right.
I'm on this side now.
Right, Honorable Speaker, colleagues. Yesterday,
order, please.
One media house in Western Uganda hosted me, and they asked me my thoughts about the coming CPC. And this is what I told them. I said, this is an opportunity for you, for me, for that one, and for this one, for Uganda, for Africa, to showcase what we have been talked about as being very, very hospitable people, as being very, very clear in as far as communication is concerned. By the way, it's not that very common. When we are communicating, we are so clear, and very many people like us just because of that. For being one of the most well-endowed countries in the world with food. Go across the border, look at their food. Go across down south in our border. You will not believe it. In the southwest part of this country, you go there, you will starve. But what do we have here? A lot of good variety of food. I told them that this is a time for us to showcase the natural wonders of the world that we are very endowed with. The River Nile, the source of the River Nile, the Kasubi tombs, they mentioned it, the gorillas, the wind impenetrable forest, the flora and fauna, incredible, the Holy Land here in Namugongo, incredible. And that's what I told them. And this is what I'm reiterating too, that it is a historical moment for us. It's almost over 50 years since we last hosted this very important conference. It's a time for us to showcase what has been known about Uganda. The best out of this country is going to be showcased. And it's between you, me, and him, and every other person to showcase this. They talked about smiling. Smiling is very fantastic. It keeps you healthy. by the way, and handsome and beautiful. And please extend this to our visitors, whether you're on protocol, whether you're on health, whether you're on whichever committee, even if you're not on any committee, be part of that committee in your own way. If you meet somebody, I was even telling the taxi drivers that if you are charging 20,000, charge 15,000 so that you can take as many people. So that the people go from here with a memory of saying, oh my God, these people are so hospitable. They are so kind. They are so generous. And be smart, please. Yes, let's urge our people to be smart. Be smart so that even our cars are washed. Our motorcycles are washed. Yes, so that the borders, you know, you don't. Exactly. So finally, the fact that you are going to be the next president of CPC, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you. I have had an opportunity to travel with you in various conferences. You've never let me down. You've never let this country down. You've been there for us. Just like Honorable Cecilia Gwal. I actually at one time, she was in the opposition. I was in NRM. But whenever we traveled with Cecilia Ogwal, I remember when we were in London and with you, Honorable Madam, she gave such a moving speech. I said, is this person in opposition, for goodness sake? I said, I almost knelt before you, and I still respect you for that. Love Uganda. This is the only Uganda we have. And this is what I've seen in you, Madam Right Honorable Speaker. Let's maintain this. We are trying to emulate you. We may not be as good as you, but we are trying to emulate you as much as possible. And I want to urge everybody, every one of you, that wherever you go, whatever you are doing, let Uganda be first and foremost on you. And that's why you are attracting a lot of conferences in this country. No wonder you are going to be our best in as far as the next whole year is concerned. You are the face of Uganda in the CPC. You are, keep those smiles. That smiling face is beautiful. It's not only beautiful, but also very captivating. And that brings us together as a country. That's what makes Uganda to be renowned. I want to congratulate you, and I want to congratulate Uganda, and I want to congratulate the 10th Parliament for being the biggest hosts of the biggest Commonwealth conference that we are yet to see. It's very historical. By the next conference, not very many of us will be around. So let's make the best out of this. I support the motion, and may God bless you.
Honourable members, I just want to, where's Syria go now? I just want to confirm, Honourable Gwal, the things she does here, which are sometimes objectionable, once she enters the plane, totally Ugandan. She'll never, totally Ugandan. That's what she is. She'll never speak against this country.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I support the motion raised by Honourable Amol Paul. And Madam Speaker, I think this is an opportunity for us to say, wow, now we can really move forward and demonstrate what we have as a country. Madam Speaker, 52 years is not a joke. In my language, they say, a storm, the stones follow the storm. Madam Speaker, thank you for being a storm that has moved all these nations to choose Uganda from 22nd to 29th September to host the whole world here. Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, there's one writer said, a loss by any other name smells sweet. Thank you for being decent. Thank you for being African. Thank you for being a true Ugandan to pull these masses here in Uganda. Madam Speaker, the motion says we galvanize the support, we galvanize participation. Madam Speaker, it is important that the whole world witnesses the decency of Uganda, unity that we demonstrate. Madam Speaker, we have been talking about tourism. I represent the great gorillas in the world. I represent the climbing lions of the world, where 98% of the climbing lions stay in Kinchizi West Kanungu district. And Madam Speaker, this is the time to demonstrate that we really have the green oil, which is not perishable. Madam Speaker, I call upon colleagues, as Honorable Byarugawa has said, we become the ambassadors. In the 7 days we shall be here, we showcase that we can even take over, because the Speaker will be taking over the mantle to rule the whole 54 countries in the Commonwealth fraternity. And Madam Speaker, we want to congratulate you for being there for us and for speaking for Africa, for speaking for Uganda. I think, Madam Speaker, this motion is intended to pull the support of the members and Ugandans, because this is a House of Representatives that can, even my mother can see that on 22nd to 29th we shall be having people from all over the world. Over 2,000 people will be hosted in Uganda. The Committee on Excursion has already mapped the areas where to go. Talk of Busoga, talk of Masaka and the Equator, talk of the source of the Nile, talk of the Namugongo. All those areas are going to be seen by the people who just knew Uganda far back in the dark days. But today, sanity is clear and seen. Madam Speaker, I wanted to add voice that we could do better, and all of us, it is important that government, parliament, all sectors participate in making sure this man becomes a reality. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Macho. Now, as I invite Honorable Macho, join me in welcoming two teams of children. The Dove Chess Academy, I don't know where they're seated. Can you stand up? Dove Chess Academy, there they are. Very, very smart with so many medals. They have just returned from the Grandmaster tournament in Netherlands, I think. They brought 8 gold medals. They're here under Focus Youth Forum. They're very, very welcome indeed. We also have another set of children, the National Woodball Team. National Woodball Team, they're here again. You can see how smart they are. They have been representing us in the international competitions. They are ranked 2nd in the world. This team from Uganda is 2nd in the world. So we congratulate Honorable Ryan Sawede. She got 6 gold medals and 1 silver and 7 bronze. We congratulate Atamba Onesimus, 1 gold. We congratulate Nanjeru Dennis, 3 gold and 3 bronze. We congratulate Sandra Navagara, 3 gold and 2 bronze. Congratulate Narvega Joyce, 4 gold and 3 bronze. Congratulate Joan Mukova, 4 gold and 3 bronze. Congratulations. They were organized by Honorable Tumuine. Welcome. Thank you very much for keeping the flag flying. Honorable Macho.
Madam Speaker, you keep making Uganda make history always. And you make me remember what my history teacher used to tell me, that every message have a messenger, and the messenger looks the message. I want to appreciate the good job you have done to market Uganda through your unique approach as a stateswoman that has built confidence in the international world for us to build the confidence of the whole world to host this very, very important conference. Madam Speaker, you're a great woman, not only in Uganda, but in Africa and in the world at large. Because I know many countries bidded, many countries did a lot of lobbying, but you and Uganda, you did a lot of talking until we're gonna make history once again. Madam Speaker, history always comes with good acts. I therefore pray and request that wherever there are international conferences, our good friends who call themselves the champions of governance and democracy go over the streets and begin making noise in the name of activists. I'm sorry that I'm talking this when the leader of opposition, who is like the representative of opposition in this country, is not in the house, but I request whoever is stepping in for her that This time, kindly, our brothers and sisters from the other side of the house, talk to your friends who keep calling themselves activists. Moreover, they are not activists. That they should make sure that the 7 days we are here with our guests, they make sure that the image of Uganda is kept and protected. Right, Honorable Speaker, Uganda as a country is going to benefit a lot. I therefore request the Ministry of Tourism, Madam Speaker, I seek your protection from my colleagues because you have not permitted them, but they are interfering with my very good submission on floor of Parliament. Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate... Madam Speaker...
Order, yes. No.
Hey. Madam Speaker, as I continue, I want to call upon Madam Speaker, I still seek your protection from our colleagues, but as I continue, I request the planners, who are the ministers who are going to market the tourism of this country, that many times we have had international conferences and they talk of only mountain gorillas. I pray that please talk about every part of this country. We have the Nyere Rocks, we have Elgon Park, we have Kidepo. Make sure you market the whole of Uganda, because these guests are coming to feel Uganda. Market Uganda not only with wildlife, even let's have governance marketing. The first time I stepped in the Republic, in the United States of America, I was asked, is President Amin still alive? And as soon as they're always alive, I therefore request that the people who are going to send a message to our guests about the historical leaders of this country who were there, because the ones who are there, they will see them talk. Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to appreciate all my colleagues in this August House, that I see everybody is excited, everybody is promoting the conference, and I believe this one as a ruling government of the NRM is a very big achievement, and we have sent a word out to the opposition that at least something has been done. I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for your time. Thank you.
Honorable Pentagon, then Honorable Kania. Pentagon and then Minister. After Pentagon, then I'll come. I'm coming. Okay, I'll come.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to attribute this achievement to your wonderful leadership, Madam Speaker, and indeed the good leadership of the NRM government, because we are the branches of the tree, and CPC and others are part of the fruits from the tree. I want to thank honorable members and indeed the general public for the good publicity. By circumstance, I found myself on the voluntary hospitality team, and I know that's where majority members of Parliament belong, Voluntary Hospitality Committee. And I want to call upon you to go on and market the CPC, so that even down there in our constituencies, the common person can know what is happening. And Madam Speaker, I'm of the opinion that the organizing committee and indeed the commission can move steady fast, as a member highlighted, to empower. They can even empower members of Parliament in terms of their communication strategy, the tools, in terms of their communication tools, so that they can take the message up to the grassroots. And Madam Speaker, I know with all this CPC is going to be a success. I thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I've been with the Madam Speaker. We met in one country, one of the big countries in this Africa, and I can attest to you how Madam Speaker is respected internationally. So all they were saying is true, and I attribute this achievement to you. I thank you very much.
Honorable Kania, then I think let's hear some voices. Ayaka Kamateka, then here, then we end up here with just a few.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in thanking you for having used your skills to lobby for the Commonwealth meeting to be held in Uganda. Of course, we all know the Commonwealth and the organs therein, including the Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference, are tenets of our history. But that's exactly the nature of countries and people. We are always part of our history, whether from our parents, in this political case, from our parents, from the British. And if we can use our history well to gain something and propel ourselves to a higher level, so be it. So I want to congratulate you, and I want to associate personally myself with this motion and join you and the rest. Although this morning I did not attend the prayers, I was in spirit with members in the Thanksgiving prayers, and I will continue to be in prayers. Having said that, I want to make a comment as a Minister of State for Internal Affairs on behalf of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. I want to assure the member from Mbale and all other members here and you, Right Honorable Speaker, that we're part and parcel of the arrangements of this meeting, and we shall make sure that it succeeds. Our agents, the security organs, and all the departments under the Ministry of Internal Affairs, including the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control, are already fully geared for this conference. We'll make sure that our visitors have very smooth entry in this country and very smooth exit when they choose to make so. On the side of security, I think we at the Internal Affairs and in connection with the other agencies have proved our efficiency in securing such functions. In the recent past, you have seen how successfully we secured so many pilgrims in Namugongo. That was not a small achievement. It was not because the enemies of society did not want to disrupt it, but because of the efficiency of our security organs. Before that, we also secured so many Catholic prelates, the bishops and the cardinals who came here, and it was a successful function. Earlier on, we welcomed and held the function of the visit of His Holiness, the Pope, which was not just a small function, but again another very big one. I could go on and on and on, but those three demonstrate that our security persons and security institutions are in charge. There is absolutely no need for anybody to get worried. People should go ahead of these functions with all the happiness and smile that has been called upon, and we are there to secure them. Of course, there may be one or two incidences. Those are absolutely natural, but we shall try to minimize them. We urge Ugandans, as Ugandans, to demonstrate the spirit that has been demonstrated by the Speaker, and in passing, as demonstrated by Cecilia Ogwal, as it has been mentioned whenever she gets in the plane, she's a Ugandan. Let us all be security agents. Let us all be guidance of our neighbors to ensure that this function ends up successfully. And we shall all do our part, and we shall all be the winners. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Ayaka. Ayaka Kamateka, Karunji, Jackie. I'm going to come this side.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I equally want to voice my appreciation for your able leadership as previously spoken by my colleagues. Right Honorable Speaker, we are very proud about your leadership and how you have done us proud to have such a very important ceremony in our country. Madam Speaker, we have been speaking here about how we should do our best to receive these guests. Madam Speaker, there are some gray areas which I would like to talk about, which we should work upon. Madam Speaker, there is something to do with our garbage collection, waste management. Madam Speaker, these visitors are coming to see the beauty of our country, but somehow you find Ugandans have a habit of throwing garbage everywhere. Wherever you go, by the side of the streets, you'll find caveras. There you find management of waste is an issue. So I request that we should declare some day of national cleaning up exercise so that we have a very clean country by the time these visitors come. Madam Speaker, there's something to do with the desilting of our sewage system. Many times when there's heavy rain, many parts of this city are always flooded, and it is as a result of having our sewage system blocked with the sand. So we need to have a desilting exercise so that we can avoid, we need to pray to God that we should not have very heavy rain. Otherwise, we shall really be embarrassed during this time. And another gray area is the issue of traffic management, the borders. Madam Speaker, this morning as I was coming towards Parliament here, we had a crash with a border rider who used a pathway for pedestrians. As we were going to a petrol station, he just crashed on us. So these borders really do not have the manners. Most of them, but others do. Others are disciplined, but many of them are not disciplined. So we need a session with the borders to show courtesy, to follow the rules of traffic. So, Madam Speaker, I thought these are gray areas we need to really work on. Otherwise, we are very happy and we need to do our best, work on these areas, and I think we shall have a good show. Thank you, Right Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Jova. Jova then Karunji.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the motion to galvanize members of Parliament for effective participation to ensure that the CPC is successful. We are proud members of the Commonwealth family. And despite what Honorable Semuju said, although of course he's entitled to his opinion, the British taught us well. They left us a rich legacy. We run the Commonwealth system of government. We have the common law system. We have so much that we are proud of. Honorable Byarugaba mentioned how people praise us for being effective communicators. We speak good English because English has been our official language all these years. And all this time, we do share a lot. For example, we are working together on the modern slavery system. So much that we share in common. So really, we are proud as we welcome members of the Commonwealth family for CPC. And of course, as it has already been said, there are so many benefits, including the hotel industry, transport, our crafts will be bought. We have already seen the fleet of vehicles even parked in our parking lot, and we know that our staff and other Ugandans from the civil service have been taken through training. All these benefits. It is really a chance to showcase our culture, the food, the dances, and really to let, and our hospitality, and to let the power of Africa shine. Right Honorable Speaker, I also want to take the opportunity to congratulate you on on hosting this CPC and on your effective leadership and lobbying. As many people have said, maybe it would not have been possible without you. So we are all proud of you, and you are a monumental role model for us to copy from. So yeah, you can give it a clap. So we are proud of you, and we heartily congratulate you. Right Honorable Speaker, although we are galvanizing members of Parliament to attend, I do not think that people do know how to participate. Of course, this is our activity. It is us to take the information down to our constituents and other Ugandans out there. But those who are not on the delegation do not really specifically know how to participate. And I thought that part of this motion, this would be the opportunity to tell us who the delegation is, how many members we are sending, and how others can be effectively involved. I would like to thank the Honorable Ayaka Rose for pointing out these issues, especially the issue of cleanliness, Right Honorable Speaker. The issue of waste disposal. It is shocking that you go on our roads, even in newly built roads, even out there in the up country, and you find the road is down, the town is maybe up, there is a market, and all the rubbish is being pushed in the middle of the road. There is a town called Chawagonya. Is it Chawagonya? As you go on Masaka Road, and I always ask myself, what do these people think? Eh? So as we try to attract tourists, and for example, they are going to Chisoro, they are going to Queen Elizabeth National Park, and you go through these streets that are littered with this rubbish. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I hope that the government is listening, that KCCA is listening, and of course Wachiso and everywhere, that they'll clean our towns so that when these people come and we serve them meals, they do not have second thoughts about them. They do not have reservations about them. We are a great country, and we only need to patch up these shortcomings so that we can have a highly successful conference. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
No Karunji, then Amogin, then Odu. Now what?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank you so much for the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, as members were contributing, I was just remembering the time we were voting you. And I said, really we did the right thing to vote our speaker. Whatever that was there, I think it's God who guided us. Otherwise, this wouldn't be there. I'm telling you. And I want to thank the people of Kamuri in a special way for voting wisely. And they should vote again wisely, because where the flag has reached, it will keep on going high, no more going down. So the people of Kamuri should really look into Uganda and keep on voting nicely. So I want to thank the House seriously, on a serious note. Thank you very much for voting excellently. Now you can see what we are achieving. I don't think we would have achieved all this if God had not guided us. And our speaker also showed that she's able. Madam Speaker, we thought that you would even maybe come as a president, as a woman president for the first time, but I don't know. We still pray for that. Maybe it is going to come, because we have seen the capacity and the capability in you, and we are behind you. The women are very happy, the women of Uganda.
Information.
We are very happy about it. So one, thank you so much, and we thank God so much for keeping you. There is a reason why he has kept you up to this time. Oh my God, we are so grateful. Thanks to God, and I want to thank members for all their contributions, and that is what I can also add, and I'm very proud that we have a woman in this parliament who is taking our flag high, and I'm very sure, I wish the people of Kamuri would understand it. I wish they would understand it. I wish they would understand it, because our flag will not go down again. I want to thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Member, for those kind words. Honourable Amongin, then Jack, Jonathan Odu.
Okay, thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I would like to add my voice on the members to commend the motion that has been raised by the publicity chairperson of the organizing of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Assembly that is going to be held here. Madam Speaker, I would like to say that Uganda and the young people of Africa, and especially us who are seated before you, look up to you all the time. And I would like to say that even when we are talking about the Commonwealth Parliamentary Assembly, I know that without your will and the good leadership that you have showed, not only to Uganda, but to the rest of the world, we would not be talking about the Commonwealth Parliamentary Assembly being held here in Uganda. So, honorable members, let us applaud this woman seated in front of us in a special way. I know in our areas that we come from, in our villages, you could be doing good things and no one tells you when you're still seeing and hearing. They only talk about you when you're no longer there. But I think this is the right time to appreciate some of the tremendous women who have made impact, who have promoted Uganda as women, who have demystified the fact that women cannot make it. Women can, and yes, we can. Because in Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, we see the possibility. We see everything in this world is possible. It doesn't matter the gender. When we look at Honorable, I happen to have served with Honorable Cecilia Ogwal at the Pan-African Parliament in my first term, and I think she's one of those people who were outstanding at the Pan-African Parliament. So when you see those two women seated there, don't underrate them because they have a lot of potential. And for us as young people in the country, we look up to them. Right Honourable Speaker, as a leader of delegation of Uganda to the African Union Parliament, and as a person who has watched you internationally, and as one of those who have shared with you meetings, I think that, honourable colleagues, the person that we see in front of us is very tremendous. When we are at the African Union, you cannot, every time we meet anybody, they will ask you, how is Kadaga? People no longer ask me, how is Idi Amin? They say, how is your speaker, the woman speaker? That is the name that that's the niche that she has created. And definitely, if we get such people going for international fora, we will be hosting so many of these international meetings because, one, they come with an advantage of promoting Uganda. We had a bad image in the before because the whole world saw that Uganda is a place where you can't go because of Idi Amin. They wouldn't even wish that Idi Amin has passed on. They think he's still alive. But today, the leadership that we have in our country, the topmost leadership, has tried to promote Uganda as a tourism destination, as a tourism potential. Honorable members, as we host these visitors, I was in the western part last week. I was in Toro region. It's so beautiful. I would love to see some of the visitors taken, those who are interested. Very beautiful area. We should harvest money. As these visitors board to return back to their countries, they should appreciate how the 4 regions of Uganda are endowed with nature and how they can promote Uganda as a tourism destination, because that is where employability will be looked up to. Right Honourable Speaker, challenges have been raised, but I know there cannot be any organizing without challenges. But I think we should focus on our sanitation and hygiene, because when you go to other countries, you find that borders, for example, are clean. People are excited just to sit on the border because they are putting on helmets. And so those small nitty-gritties have to be looked at as we host these international visitors, because the image they go with is what will remain in their minds. Right Honorable Speaker, I am very delighted at my age to be serving in a house that you're chairing as a speaker, because I admired you when I was still a young girl, and I was like, I want to be like that woman in the future. And I'm telling you, you're my mentor. Mentorship does not mean talking to that person directly, but mentorship means the good things that you do in public that all people appreciate. And I want to say, before the Almighty God, we appreciate what you do for Uganda, and may God protect you on behalf of Ugandans.
Now, Odul, then now what? Now, Belinda Hood.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, at the beginning, I wanted to raise some procedural matters because I thought that this conference is very important. And rather than it coming here as a motion, it could have come as a statement to inform the House, so that we also don't go into other debates. But now that we are moving, I want to state on record that I am very happy that the country has the opportunity to host for the second time. And many members have spoken up thanking you, Madam Speaker, and also the NRM government for providing the space. I would like to join them and also congratulate them, but also remind you that in 1967 there was the UPC, which hosted the first conference here. That means that they did their best, and in the records of the Commonwealth, they find it pleasant to come back because they had an experience before. Madam Speaker, apart from tourism that has been mentioned, I think we are losing the major themes that were raised here by the movers. Climate change, that all of us are affected by. The issue of youth unemployment is a theme that will be discussed. Uganda is one of the countries that is suffering from youth unemployment, urbanization, etc. I think that our delegates at this conference must really participate meaningfully to try to find solutions to some of these problems that is affecting the country, as mentioned here. So we want to encourage our delegates that beyond this, we need to deal with other issues that exist between Commonwealth countries. The issues of trade barriers, because they are a result of legislations that come from parliamentarians. The issue of restriction on travels, how visas are applied, I think it's a result of legislation that we need to engage. Because if we are one association, we should be able to make it easy for ourselves to interact. Madam Speaker, there have also been calls here for government to behave. Me, I think that it is okay for us to continue the way we are. Because why should you feel ashamed at this stage when visitors are there? If your ministers have been quarreling, you continue quarreling when delegates are there. Continue in the media. If we have been brutalizing each other, you continue because you think that is good. If you think that stealing public money, the corruption that is going on is good, you continue so that the whole country, the whole world can know that there is a problem. So we cannot just hide.
Point of order. Honorable Jova.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise on a point of order. And yes, indeed, the member started well, but is he unaware of the African culture? African saying that when visitors are coming, you must sweep the house. Surely. We have been able to teach it, we learned this, we have been able to teach it to our children, and we are expected as members of parliament to pass on this to the people that we represent, including our family members. So is the honorable member in order to say that the government should go on as they have been doing, and they should quarrel? If they've been quarreling, they should quarrel even in front of the visitors. Is this African? Is this Ugandan? Is he in order, Right Honorable Speaker?
The honourable member is going against the traditional African
Speaker, I was saying it in the other way, that we should not only be doing it for visitors when visitors come. We are a community, we are a country, so the things that we think are wrong when visitors are not there. We should not continue doing it even in the absence of the visitors. But finally, Madam Speaker, I wish now to congratulate you and wish you a good health.
And this is well evidenced by the fact that even in the 10th Parliament, Madam Speaker, under your leadership, this Parliament hosted the Interparliamentary Union. So we'd like to thank you for your lobbying skills. And Madam Speaker, like members have said, it's not only Ugandans that admire your leadership. Many people in this world, especially in Africa, admire you. Madam Speaker, I recall just a few months ago, I was with Honorable Etuka Isaac with you in Moscow. And when you presented your remarks, because they called upon all the speakers to make their remarks, Madam Speaker made very moving remarks concerning the African continent. For example, the issue of refugees, the issue of exploitation of Africa's minerals, which other people just want to take it without value addition, and the issue of people affected with the conflict who are not being involved on issues concerning them. And Madam Speaker, there were members of Parliament from West Africa who were so moved, and they told me they wanted to see you, and they were calling you their speaker. You will recall, Madam Speaker, after the meeting, I came and shared it with you, and before I completed, they had got their way where we were. And that is how admired you are. It's not about pampering, but it is because of what you are actually doing. That is why people admire you, and we pray that God continues guiding you and giving you the wisdom and strength and else to continue leading this Parliament and this country. Madam Speaker, Uganda has also been partly given the opportunity because of our hospitality. Just last year, Madam Speaker, I was in a jam somewhere near Garden City, and some woman came with very appetizing yellow bananas in her basket, and a woman whose vehicle was in front of me bought the ripe bananas. And just near her, there was a boda man and who was carrying a white man. This lady got some of the ripe bananas, got them, gave the boda man 2 fingers because I was seeing, and also gave the white man 2. So the white man looked at her and smiled. Then within me I said, they are now seeing the hospitality of Ugandans. And so, Madam Speaker, I pray that this hospitality continues throughout the events in our hotels, on our roads, and in our recreation centers. I pray that the Almighty God grants journey mercies to our visitors and keeps us all through the event. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Nabulindo.
Thank you.
Nabulindo, then Hood. Nabulindo first, then.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Bible says that the wise men came from the east. Thank you so much for being among them. We are really very proud of you. I'm speaking as the pastor's wife. Madam Speaker, God is always saving your life for the purpose, for the good works you are doing. And you live to stay and blow more candles. May God bless you as you stay alive. Madam Speaker, I also stand to support the motion. These visitors are coming to visit us Ugandans, not visiting a party or visiting what, but they are visiting us, the people of Uganda. So we have to welcome them and be good, be smart. We cherish our visitors. Madam Speaker, if we were to be sensitized early, we would have brought our women who are doing some art and crafts, so that our visitors, as they come, they go with something. As Honorable Kamokech was saying, he said the visitors were asking, what are we going to see in Uganda? What are we going to carry from Uganda? I remember 3rd June, this very year in Namugongo. The visitors who came, most of them are friends from America. They said we had nothing to carry from Uganda. So, Madam Speaker, next time, when maybe we host these visitors again, let us sensitize more women in Uganda to bring their art and crafts so that we also sell to these visitors. Madam Speaker, these visitors should not only remain in maybe Kampala and maybe go to Windi and see gorillas and the source of River Nile, but I was requesting that they should even go and visit our historical places. They see our culture, maybe our cultural dance like Owaro in Samia, and maybe they see how we prepare kalo and tilapia, like some of us who eat fish, and then they see Embaire in Busoga, Kadodi in Bugishu, and maybe they see our Sipi Falls in Kapchorwa. They can even see our Elgon. So, Madam Speaker, that was my request. This other thing of borders, sincerely speaking, I don't know how Madam Speaker Security is going to help us with the borders. Because borders in Kampala here, by the way, they are very unruly. They can even spit on our visa. Because yesterday as we were going in a jam, one of them spat on us. So I don't know how you are going, Madam Speaker, maybe to talk to the security and they help us to organize these borders who are in the city. And then the garbage, as the Honorable Rose was saying, the garbage is also too much. I don't know how KCCA is going to help us, and maybe try to clean away our city, and then these street children and the beggars also maybe to be allocated somewhere, so that when the visitors maybe go away, when maybe they can come back. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to thank the mover of this resolution to thank you. This conference is held in Uganda is not by accident. There must have been due diligence made for Uganda to be chosen to host this important conference. I therefore wish to extend my thanks to the head of the Commonwealth fraternity, the Queen, the President of Uganda, for blessing this conference, and thank you, Honorable Speaker, for heading the preparations for this conference. Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to give you special thanks for being a model of leadership for this Parliament, and the success of this conference is now manifested on the way you are including everybody. As the chairperson, Committee of Foreign Affairs, we have emulated what you are doing, and we involve everybody on that committee to contribute for a national cause. We wish to congratulate you and thank you for your persistent actions in making sure that you emphasize unity in diversity for us to succeed as a country. I therefore appeal to all Ugandans to note that Uganda has moved to another level of recognition globally. And this has been achieved through continued stability and peace that has prevailed in this country. We therefore wish to say, Right Honorable Speaker, that we are waiting for more meetings to come. Continue to lobby for other meetings. We have hosted a decade back the CHOGAM conference here. We have hosted others as IPU, the Organization of Islamic Conference. All these are global meetings, meetings that we hosted here for the whole refugees, United Nations, refugees in Uganda. So all these are manifestations that once, as Ugandans, we strengthen our unity and peace and stability, then more is to come for the benefit of the people of Uganda. We thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the arrangements that you have made,
And I believe all members of Parliament and other Ugandans of goodwill will be participating fully to ensure that there is success of this conference. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sawungu. Then Akelo. Then Senyonga Masika. Kibalia. Okay. What can I do? Everybody will speak.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
All of you speak.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want first to thank the Minister of Internal Affairs. He has kept around to hear what we are saying, and he has given us assurance on security, and I will give you trust. And I also want to thank the move of the motion. And Madam Speaker, honorable members, you see, there is a day of judgment. And on that day of judgment, God is going to ask us questions. And among the questions that will be asked to the Right Honorable Speaker will be Honorable Rebecca Kadaga. We are the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda. What did you do during when you were the Speaker of Parliament? I constructed a parking more than 5 floors down. I managed to put up one structure left behind, as the bridge left behind. That one was there. Then I hosted a number of conferences. Among them was CPC. What was the new chambers? I constructed them. Then the God will say, Kadaga, go on the right hand of the Father. Then there is another person. Other people will be asked, that's now, Honorable, you gentlemen, when this person brought this conference, how did you utilize that conference after it had taken place? That, for us, we were there, we saw the lady bringing in many people, but that was the end that was there. Then they will send you, they will say, go to hell. So when the Right Honorable Speaker brings in such conferences, it is incumbent on you in government, in cabinet, to utilize those conferences that have been brought. What are those activities? What are those economic advantages that you are supposed to tap out as government? Right Honorable Speaker, when the Pope, the last conference was 1967. That's when it was in Uganda. I was not yet born. I wasn't born. I was born in 1969. Now, the Pope came in 1969. After coming, the Catholics constructed the Namugongo Shrine. And up to now, Catholics every year are flocking in Namugongo. When Amin hosted the 1975 OAU Summit Conference, he constructed the conference center, which is now called now called Serena. And we, as primary teachers, I always emphasize that point, as primary teachers, these are some of the things we teach children. I've been hearing members here, Madam Speaker, saying, now the conference is not yet publicized. What are you doing as a member of Parliament? You have not done so. You go to Kalungu West constituency. I have already told them I will not be there next week because Madam Speaker is bringing many Bazungu and the people from Commonwealth here. And everybody is saying CPC, saying we will not be in the constituency for the whole week. So me, I've already played my role of advertising the conference. And that's what you are supposed to do. But when you come on this floor of Parliament and you expect the Speaker to put a lot of banners everywhere, because that is not, for her, she has done her role. You are a member of Parliament, you are a member of the Commonwealth Parliament. That's why honorable members brought a motion. And I think we should praise him because he beat ahead of us. Madam Speaker, I want to thank you very much. But there is one issue I want to complain about all this. Whenever you have such conferences, we should have something to remember. Madam Speaker, when Chogam was brought here, Salama Road was made the Chogam Road. And everybody was saying this is going to be the Chogam Road. Honorable members, Gandhi visit what is along Salama Road, you will not enjoy it. We have our monument behind here. Okay, there is construction, but we give it care. And I pray that after this conference, Madam Chair, you help us get something that will be remembered for this conference. We have talked about traffic jam. Do we have an official day in that function where our children in schools will be made aware? And how do they become aware? We said this day, schools are not even going to work for only one day. They follow the conference. That's what happens in all other countries. So that these children can follow, learn, and when they go to school, they are asked questions. What function took place on this date? They will be able to answer in full. But otherwise, without educating our children, knowing, then you cannot make. But Madam Speaker, I want to thank you very, very much for bringing such conferences in the country. That's how a country is open. The other member was complaining that we opposition, we should not wear red, we should not make demonstrations, and he was trying to alert us, which is not fair. When the motion is bipartisan in this house, you are not supposed to bring any political divisions. You shouldn't, because my interest is in the Commonwealth. My interest is in this country. Sometimes we fight because of other issues that we are looking at. But you cannot say, now, Sewungu, please, don't go to... But the speaker is here commanding the CPC. And where is Sewungu supposed to be? He's supposed to be also following the speaker. Because even if I get a problem, the first person I refer to my problems is the lady seated in front of us here. Even before I tell my mother, by the way, I have to inform the speaker that I have this problem. Because he's the one in charge of Sewungu's life as our speaker in this parliament. So honorable members, I pray that you use this weekend to go back to your constituencies and inform your voters about the CPC. If you don't know it in English, if you don't know it in Uganda, use your local language to teach them what CPC is. Otherwise, there's no way you can make it public other than members selling it out to constituencies. I rest my case, Madam Speaker.
Now, Lucy? Lucy, then Agava Babari, the two here, there. Yes, I've seen you. And Mungoma.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Allow me also to add my voice in thanking the movers of this very important motion, and also to give my support to the motion. Madam Speaker, it's 52 years ago that we hosted CPC, and like Honorable Sewungu said, some of us were not yet born. I am privileged and lucky that we are hosting CPC again when me as Akela Lucy, I am a member of Parliament. I am very privileged and I send you thanks for that. Madam Speaker, as we debate this and as you struggle to bring this conference to Uganda, one thing that has always attracted me is when you are debating out there, you are not ashamed to talk about the things that are core to us as Ugandans and as Africans. You have always called a spade a spade. And because of that, you have earned a lot of respect. And they will come and see our cultures, they will come and see our values, and even when the next CPC is in another country, they will see it from that point. Madam Speaker, I remember when you gave us an opportunity to move a motion in welcoming the SECAM delegates. That is the Bishops' Conference of Africa. One feedback that I did not give you is that motion changed the face, the belief that they had about Uganda because of what happened in the past. They were saying they were so grateful. They said they have been to other countries, but they had never received such a warm welcome. And for me, I think this goes back to you, who leads us and who chairs. Thank you so much for being always there for us and championing the cause for lighting, keeping the candle really lighting. And like other members have said, this is a non-partisan debate. Some of us have traveled. I remember several times we have been going to Rome, meeting with other legislators around the world. And when it comes to time for the African mass, as Ugandans, we stand out distinctively. We are different. We are in our gomasi, and we put on our yellow gomasis because that is the Vatican color. Some people will say, "But you're in opposition, why should you put on yellow?" And I say, this is a Vatican color and this is Ugandan attire. For us, this is something that should always help us. So thank you so much, Madam Speaker. You have been cooking. The smoke has been burning you and your eyes have been tearing. Seeing you have been in the kitchen, but I can assure you the food is now smelling. The aroma is everywhere. The aroma is everywhere. I have just come back from my private trip, and I can assure you, people know that Uganda is hosting CPC. I was in a plane with one of the couples, very old people, and they said, since you're from Uganda, can you tell us the good things that we can come and see? Then I said, we have the mountain gorillas. We have the source of the Nile. I told her we have the Massician and everything, and said, yeah, I think we need to come to Uganda. Very old couples, I am praying for them to come to Uganda. And I think this should be things that we do, we should promote, irrespective of where you come from. Even when CPC has gone and ended, all of us here travel a lot. In the plane, we meet different people. We discuss with many people. I think all of us should make it a point to at least bring or attract 1 or 2 tourists a year. If we do this, we will make this country a better country to live in. I thank you, Madam Speaker, and congratulations. I wish you well. May the aroma continue to smell well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable Abbas, then Honorable Senyoga Masika, Kumama, Oboya, there.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker,
Yes,
for the opportunity. I also want to join other colleagues, Right Honorable Speaker, to thank the movers of the motion. Specifically, I would like to join the others to congratulate you, our leader and able leader, for the achievement that we have got, that Uganda is hosting this CPC. For many, many who might be distant, they may not understand that it's a process we go through to bid and lobby to host some of these meetings. And at that point, you need clear-headed leadership, focused and experienced, able leadership that you win a favor for your country. So we'd like to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, thank your voters who see value in you and keep bringing you to the House, and wish you good life, that you may live to contribute more to the better being of this country. Right Honorable Speaker, in the same line, I also want to thank and congratulate His Excellency the President and the leadership of the NRM, because it's the atmosphere within which we live that also adds value to the security and safety of those who are coming, that beefs up our bid or lobbying, that we're able to succeed in lobbying to host these meetings. Of course, Right Honorable Speaker, there are other meetings that you even talked about today that will be coming. But this, the CPC is massive and brings so many people to this country. It will definitely have an economic impact for those Ugandans who are prepared, and they may reap something out of it. It will have political and other effects. But specifically about tourism, Right Honorable Speaker, the people of Kitagwenda have asked me to request this of you. We know you'll be able to give a speech, to talk at this meeting. Recently, Uganda Tourism Board visited Kitagwenda at the point where they've constructed a dam. There's a very special plant that is similar to a shrub that is similar to palm called the cycad. Special shrubs, very beautiful, and with a history that they are linked to the existence of dinosaurs. In the recent past in the media, Kitagwenda has been talked about for being the only place uniquely hosting the cycads in Uganda and in the world. It's a request, my Honorable Speaker, from the people of Kitagwenda that when there's opportunity, you let the people know that this place is host of that great shrub, the cycad, and they are found in Kitagwenda, so that we do not miss on the tourism agenda of the rest of the country. It is special, it's like it's newly discovered. We thank the UTB for now focusing there, and they have found these shrubs. They are promoting them. It will be an added advantage to us that they are further promoted, that we can attract more tourists. Of course, to come to Uganda, but also to come to Kitagwenda, that the people of Kitagwenda can also reap from the tourism potential. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Senyonga. Mama.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Oh, General, okay.
I want to join all other colleagues, first to second the motion. But before that, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you and congratulate you for the Thanksgiving service which we had early morning today, which was really a blessing to our house. Right Honorable Speaker, marketing a country has never been easy. Some of us who enjoy Premier we see very senior football teams like Arsenal, Man U, having at least a tag, visit Rwanda. That can show you how marketing a country is. But what you have done is even cheaper because the government does not inject much. I was trying to ask how much Arsenal takes to have that tag, visit Rwanda. It is in billions of money a year. Therefore, we thank you for marketing our country, because at least now we are changing from the bad image where they used to know Uganda about only Idi Amin, now to a new Uganda. So I thank all colleagues for supporting the motion, and I'm sure we have to attract as many conferences in the near future, and we support your leadership. We are going to be behind you during this conference, and we are all winners. I thank you for giving this opportunity.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this motion on the floor. But first of all, I would like to thank the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for bringing all this peaceful atmosphere where we are all enjoying. Because at one time, I was in China. I left Uganda when it was on fire. When I stayed in China for some time, when I looked behind, I could see dust rising from Uganda up in the atmosphere. And all the world was watching Uganda. They were wondering what was happening. They paid attention. At that time, the president was like holding a bull, a fighting bull, and the bull was raising dust, too much dust. So people paid attention. We could hear AIDS in Uganda. We could hear Kibuetere has killed so many people. We could hear Amin. So whenever anybody could ask us, where do you come from? You could share away and say, you guess. When they say, from South Africa, you say, yes. You lie to people. But after some time, when things cooled down, we became so proud. When anybody asks you, where do you come from? You put up your chest and say, I come from Uganda. Now, your information will be taken sometime. Now, after some time, when things cooled down, the atmosphere became, who is this woman? Why is she so famous? You imagine 1.5 billion people knowing about this woman from Uganda. You see the Indians, you see the Nigerians, in the millions, they were looking at Uganda. Why is it a woman, right, speaker? So in Chinese, they could say, Tsui wei tata kadaka. Tsui wei tata kadaka, ling shou. So I was very happy. I tried very much, and I also joined the parliament. Today I'm sitting near her, literally meaning that a very famous, clever woman, smart woman coming from Uganda. Who is this woman? Today I tried and I'm sitting near her. I'm very proud. But unfortunately, or luckily enough, again, when Satan see that you are going to do something great, he always pulls his arsenal or military equipment from the armory to come and clear you. Satan saw that she's becoming famous all over the world. Then it was like in the Bible, where all creatures were moving in front of God. Then Satan also appeared, and as one of the creatures of God. Then God asked Satan that, have you seen one of my man who is very loyal to me, who was Job? Satan said, you protect him. That's why he's very proud of you. So God told him that God said that, go and do anything, but don't kill. So Satan went and tortured Job up and down. Some people came and told him that, why don't you deny God and die? But Job refused. It is in this case with Right Honorable Kadaka. God saw that Gadaka is becoming famous all over the world. People have known her. And then Satan asked God to come and torture her. God allowed Satan came, he tossed her up and down. The whole of Uganda, the whole world was getting malaria. They kept quiet. People prayed. We all prayed that she should not die, and God listened to our prayers. She became alive. Today she's here. I testify, and I know that she's going to do great things tomorrow. And you know, Uganda is known to the whole world. If you all don't know, if you are young, one time Uganda was being given to the Israelites as their country, but it was prevented by God. Again, Jesus Christ, who is in heaven, one time he was a refugee in Egypt. He was drinking of the waters coming from Namisindwa, River Nile, up to Uganda. He remembers us. Moses was there floating on the River Nile from the waters of Uganda. So religious people from all over the world, they are trying to search and know where is Uganda. Many people are trying to come to Uganda and know why Uganda is like this, because God has blessed Uganda. We have got great opportunities. We are sitting on opportunities. It is our high time to know and discover our opportunities so that the whole world can come to us and bring money in the form of tourism, religious tourism, historical tourism. You talk of Kibwetere. When he killed people in Uganda, in China, something she flashed out called Falangung. Falangung means those people who came on Tiananmen Square and they killed themselves, hoping that when they kill themselves, they go to heaven. At that time, Andrew Philip was an ambassador. He was conducted by the Chinese to know how we stopped it in Uganda, this cult. So we are very important people. If we nurture ourselves very well, we can as well defeat Israel. We can defeat other countries in this world. Don't joke around. This is a big blessing. Now, when Right Honorable Kadaka got sick, we all prayed. If it was like a vote, if it was a vote that we